Hey everyone, Dan from Convos here. We're here with Kane from Red Soil Organics.
Hey guys.
Thank you for having us out, mate. We're going to be doing, dig up a bit of a BD prep you've been working on.
Yep.
Check out your compost. We're going to go for a bit of a tour through your property.
Yep.
Mate, so what do we got here?
So this is a new combination prep that I kind of built. The main reason I built it is because everybody keeps asking, you know, what do I spray when? How do I spray it? You know, and everyone's getting confused. So, you know, I wanted to make it easier. So I basically built this combination prep, and then we got something which is called CPP. And CPP is an isolated prep, and then we add the 502, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into that CPP to kind of energize it, to kind of bring it to life, to kind of turn it into a new creation. So what I've done is I've actually taken about 1,000 litres of really nice colloidal humus, just pure biodynamic compost.
Yeah.
I put that in the earth, and then I've mixed in a whole CPP, put 50 kilos of CPP into that mix, so I really livened it up. And then I've turned it on as well with the grid formation. So we've hit the pure biodynamic preparations, 10 grams of each, and then made the grid and hit it with the valerian, and gave it a really nice heavy dose of BD 500.
Yeah.
So, and as I was thinking about the prep, I was, you know, that's burying in winter, all the forces are coming down and working into that, energizing. It's a really internal process. So
how long's this been in the ground now?
Start of winter.
Start of winter.
Yeah.
So about
Yeah.
that 3 and about months, 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months ago.
Yeah. So that's what, like that's how to quicken it and enliven it. But then it's, you know, with the other preps, as we were talking in the podcast, it's the astral forces are coming through the animal parts into the flower to give it sentience, to wake it up. So with this prep, there's no animal part, right? So I thought, well, how are we going to step it up a notch from where it already is, and then really enliven it, really quicken it? And I was thinking about silica, and then it got me leading on to the skin, and the skin being that connection element between our living, you know, consciousness inside us and the rest of this creation. And so that was a connective membrane. So I thought, that's perfect. Let's line the pit and skin. And so I was thinking about the domestic animal, the cow, and I was like, I don't really want domesticated animals. You know, I want something wild. And so I went up to the top of Mary River there, top of the watershed, and I went and got some deer skin. And I lined the pit in that deer skin, so then the forces could come down in through it, and then turn the whole thing on to give it that extra kick, that extra.
So it's nature, but it's wild as well. So it's
So we're really trying to sink it in, and we're really trying to just turn the whole thing alive. So then it becomes just a combination embodiment of the preparations.
Yeah.
And we see here we've got the pure preparations. No 502, 503, 504, 505 on the creek, 506 here. So we got the pure preparations, and then we got this. And as we dig up these pure preparations, we will then be working it through in a specific way into this body to then give it that extra fresh living vitality. So it's going to be an intense.
It'll be something impressive. Look, guys, if you are lost by what Kane's talking about, I'm trying to keep up, to be honest. But if you're lost, make sure you check out the podcast episode, because we go into this into a lot more depth, and so you'll get a better understanding. So
give you a good start anyway.
That's it.
Let's dig this up. We'll hit a copper spiral, which is not really doing too much other than marking the actual surface of the pit. Yep. But of course, copper's good. It's always deficient in Australian soil, so it's good to have that element in there for the forces to also work on. So we'll just pull all the hay out like this.
Yep. Let's see the colour of this.
Yep. So this is the surface soil.
Yeah.
Now there's quite a lot under here, so we'll just dig a couple of galv buckets up.
Yep.
Now you want to work on. It's important when you're digging up your preps to get yourself a nice area where you can put the soil.
Yep.
Because we're going to have to. It's an archaeological dig, mate.
Yeah, right. Okay, so take it layer by layer.
Yeah. can see how beautiful and tilty that soil is.
Yeah.
So that's indicating to us that we've had a really good passing through of the forces coming down into it. It's like butter, and we can see a lot of the strands, a lot of the fungal glues just binding into it. So that's telling us that we got...
It's all, it's,
yeah.
You got the effect you wanted.
It's come through.
Yeah.
So we can see there we've started to hit, and immediately there's a little worm in there. So they come into the party.
There's another one.
Oh, look at that life just there. So that will be a partial piece of the deer skin.
So you see it there.
You always get this really nice life on the animal parts.
So mate, look, this to me this looks pretty fantastic. But you know, is it what you were hoping to get? Because this is the first time doing this.
Yeah, it was, but it's got such a nice aroma to it.
It does.
I don't know how you would explain that, but yes.
I think the best way to explain that, honestly, for people who have been maybe using, you know, going to some of the warehouse places to get their potting mix, you get that smell when you open the bag.
Yeah.
This is like 10 times better than that.
Yeah.
You know, that rich, full smell. It's beautiful.
I would hope so anyway.
Heaps better, mate. Heaps
so we
better.
can see there, it's extremely humus rich.
Yeah.
So very little effort. We pull that out. We have a little rub between the fingers. We can see the humus structure in there. So it's really well humified. It has sunk in a bit, so that's telling me that it has transformed and come into its ultimate form.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that.
This is beautiful.
So the way we're going to sell this, once I further blend it, we'll work out the application rates, but we're not going to muck around with any plastic or any jars or anything like that. We're literally going to take a handful.
Yeah.
We're going to make up a ball. We'll go through it and make sure it's nice and clean.
Yeah.
We're going to make a nice humus ball, and that's going to be ready to use.
Yeah, great.
Perfect colloidal humus.
Yeah.
So we'll you know, and then when you're using it, you take a bit off, and that there will do a cubic metre of compost.
Yeah.
So there's
So
about
you just add it straight into your compost, or do you add it to water first and you dilute
so
it?
what you'd want to do is you'd want to put it in rainwater about the night before, let it sit through the whole day, and then work on your compost that evening.
Yeah.
So if you've got a compost pile, then you'd be mixing it into the water and soaking your hay in it or whatnot, or just sprinkling it in there, or having a sprayer and spraying it in there as you're constructing the heat.
Yeah.
But it's also, this is the field and foliar prep, so this is a way to get the BD forces onto the plant and into the soil.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I've got to check on the trials and that. We're going to have trials on dieback.
Yeah.
And we're going to have trials on broadacre wheat crops. So we'll work out the ratio. And
if you can come up with a way to sort out dieback,
yeah,
wow, you heard it here first.
We're going to give it a whirl anyway.
That's great.
So Steiner mentions that. It talks about these diseases, and like at that time blight was sweeping through and taking out all the grapes. And his remedies were, you know, particular BD preparations, and he talks about that kind of disease or that virus, that problem there, as being a lack of connection from the plant into the rest of the cosmic environment.
Yeah.
So, you know, the plant's diseased. So you'd ask, why is it diseased?
Why is it diseased? So Kane, this is what we were talking about in the podcast, and what everybody always wants to know about is the horn manure.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more about it.
All right. So yeah, cow poo and the cow horn. If you've heard about Biodynamics, you've definitely heard about that one.
Yeah.
So this is foundation prep number 500. So they only got numbers because when they were doing the lectures, they had to come up, you know, later on with ways to talk about, classify them.
Yep.
So this is 500, the first one. So this is the horn manure. And then you have the opposing prep, which is the horn quartz, which is finely crushed quartz crystal in the cow horn.
Yeah.
And we dig this up and then we bury the quartz. So the 500 is it's a soil bound spray, so it's colloidal humus, and we apply that to the soil, and that's the first kind of measure to recuperating soils.
Yep.
It's also one of the primary tools in broadacre biodynamics. So, you know, all the orchard farmers and broadacre wheat crop or anything like that, they all, you know, they'll grow their cover crop, they'll spray it with the BD 500 and they'll cultivate that into the soil, and that's their main tool to convert that cover crop into humus really, really fast.
Yeah.
And build that soil.
So this is the one that you'll as you get it, you then add it to water. You add a certain amount per 1,000 litres of water, 100 litres of water, and then you spray it out.
Yeah, that's right. So 35 grams an acre. Is
35 grams an acre
is the kind of the Australian standard. So it has this ability to just break up clods and soften everything and make it really tilty and really beautiful.
Let's check it out.
Immediate effects.
And straight away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is one of the pits.
Wow.
So that's the substance we're left over with. And you'll start to notice the same effect here as that pit over there. So we can see it's that silky, beautiful, putty-like colloidal humus.
Yeah.
And that has, again, a very, very distinct aroma. Get a good handful of this. All right, so that's the 500 prep, 35 grams per acre.
That's incredible.
All right, we'll get this back in the shade.
Yeah.
And then we can
Go for a wander.
go for a wander.
All right. So Kane, CPP, or?
Yep. So CPP stands for cow pat pit. It's a pure cow manure that we massage and we knead like a sourdough, and we pack the pit with that, and then we stick the pure preparations into that pit, and we leave it for 3 weeks and then give it a turn. Again 3 weeks and turn it, and then it's ready after that. So this is a good way to get a concentration of BD preps on your own land because it's cheap and easy to make.
It doesn't take up too much space either.
No, and it doesn't take long to make, and you can really use it if you've made it. You know, you got a lot of it. You got 50 kilos in a pit, and that will do 50 acres.
Wow.
So it does go a long way.
Yeah.
This is only, again, 10 days old from the Blockies course. So again, in our courses, I'll open this side.
Okay. Yeah.
In our courses, we make the CPP.
Yeah.
A little bit of foreign bodies in there. So we make the CPP, and then we make the compost, and then we have the lunch, and then we teach you how to use the CPP and teach you how to compost, while we build a system from scratch that creates its own fertilizer, its own mulch, its own microclimate, its own ecosystem, halves its own water, and basically just keeps cycling off succession.
So it is 100% that starter course.
Yep. Yeah. Teach you how to get yourself sorted, teach you how to use it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
The BD compost and the CPP is really, you know, you're pretty much, you're self-sufficient from that point.
You'll change your life from that, point.
You know how to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
So this is very early preparation.
Yeah.
Usually you get quite a lot of fungus growing on the surface.
Yeah.
But we can see it's still pretty much, you know, cow manure. So the pits do take quite a while.
Yeah.
Pull them out and turn them, pull them out and turn them. It's going through a transmutation. It's not a hot process. It's a transformative process.
Yeah, right.
So it comes out nice and sweet and earthy and humusy after that as well.
Yeah.
So that's just one more tool in the biodynamic toolbox.
Yeah. So Kane, this is the compost you guys put together as part of the Blockies course going through with Landcare.
Yeah, that's right. So that was 10 days ago.
10 days, all right.
Yeah, at 10 days it looked like this.
Yeah.
So we used the combination prep, which is similar to that new prep, except you know, hasn't been buried, activated, and it's not synergized.
Yeah.
It was more so just CPP blended with a few other preps.
Okay.
We use that as we go, make soaking buckets, soak the hay and material in there, and then use that with a bit of the Morpheus blend as a compost starter.
Yeah.
So this was, you know, about yay high. The next day, steam wafting off it. So it's still steaming in the morning. But this...
So, I mean, this can't have broken down too much in 10 days.
Well, we'll have a look, eh?
Yeah, let's all right, let's do it.
Let's have a look how good the preps are, hey?
Yeah. They're really putting it to the test here. Holy moly.
So if we dig in here, you can already see the amount of life that's in there.
Just see how much is breaking down already.
Yeah.
That's all right. You might turn a believer in a minute.
You can see the steam coming off.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to see in daylight, but that's sitting at 60 degrees in there.
Oh geez. Oh. That's incredible.
And you can see the colour contrast between, you know, you look at that. It's starting to get a little humusy already.
Yeah.
No. 10 days.
10 days, not even 2 weeks.
60 degrees Celsius. So this is just basic home compost. We teach people how to make this in our courses.
Yeah.
The biodynamic home compost. And you know, there's so much life in that.
Yeah, no, that's it.
So
that's hot to touch in there.
Yeah.
That's
an easy to make, you know, even cardboard cuts from the course.
Yeah.
We put those in there. That's a really easy compost to make at home. It gets hot straight away. We don't teach about carbon and nitrogen. We don't teach about any of that stuff. We literally just work with the piles, get a feeling for it, calibrate our senses to what we're looking for, and really simplify it. And always the next morning it's steaming out the top. So this is like a bit of a homeopathic remedy, like a high-powered, high-concentrated compost, which you would use to revitalise the soils, bring them into shape, or you know, as a medicine, or just anything to get the earth kind of back to cycling. Yeah. So this is a.
Well, you can see just how quickly that's broken down and how nicely it's broken down.
Yeah.
That's going to be incredibly effective. So if you come along, check out the course to see how to do that. I'll tell you. I'm in next.